She told me to leave. What she never expected was what would come after. Hey, everyone. Thanks for being here today. I want to share a story, one that reshaped my entire understanding of love, trust, and what it means to stand back up after being broken. My name is Marcus. For the longest time, I believed I had what many would call a good life, a steady career, a place to call home, and a woman I imagined growing old beside. Her name was Celeste. We were married for a number of years, and while things didn't collapse overnight, our relationship slowly eroded, piece by unnoticed piece. The signs were there. I just didn't want to face them. I met Celeste during a turbulent time in my life. I had just finished school, stepping hesitantly into the corporate world. The climb was slow. I wasn't making much, and advancement felt like a distant dream. Still, I pushed forward every day, putting in the effort, hoping for progress. That's when Celeste entered my life. It started innocently. Casual chats, shared jokes, late-night conversations about shows, music, and everything in between. We didn't fall for each other instantly, but slowly and deeply. When I finally realized I loved her, it was rooted in something real. She brought calm to my storm. I gave her everything, my time, energy, love, and loyalty, even if I didn't have much else to offer. After 3 years together, we got married. We stood side by side, making vows through trembling smiles and teary eyes, knowing we didn't have all the answers, but trusting we'd figure out together. At least, that's what I thought. Right after the ceremony, her father handed her an envelope. Inside was a key. He told her it was a gift, her new start. Unbeknownst to me, her family had built her a house, fully paid off. No rent, no debt, just handed over. I was speechless. At the time, we were living in a cramped apartment, budgeting every purchase, washing dishes by hand. That house changed everything. It meant breathing room, a shot at a real future. I didn't care that the deed had only her name on it. We were a team, or so I believed. Our first year in that house felt like a fairy tale. Mornings filled with coffee and quiet routines. Evening walks in the neighborhood. Shared plans and whispered dreams. But over time, something shifted. It didn't happen all at once. It crept in slowly. She started working longer hours. At first, it was the occasional late night, then full weekends. She spoke of demanding projects, team bonding, trips out of town for training. I accepted her explanations because I trusted her. But that trust became strained. She grew distant. Conversations turned cold. We stopped connecting. Even sitting in the same room, it felt like we were miles apart. I tried asking if something was wrong. Every time, she'd turn around, accuse me of being paranoid, of suffocating her. I found myself measuring my words, hesitating before speaking, just to avoid conflict. And then came the secrecy. Her phone never left her side, always tilted away from me. Notifications appeared and disappeared before I could even glance. Any questions about them were met with anger. I was accused of being insecure. One night, she was gone again. Another work event. I didn't argue. I was too worn down to care. Her iPad was lying on the couch. I picked it up to stream a show, but the Messages app popped up by accident. And there it was. Conversations synced from her phone. His name rang a bell, someone from her office. The messages were undeniable. Flirtation, rendezvous plans, hotel bookings. Trips she claimed were work-related had been romantic escapes. I felt the floor vanish beneath me. I didn't confront her immediately. I knew better. She'd just spin it, make me the enemy. So I kept quiet and prepared. I hired an investigator, spoke with a lawyer, collected screenshots, called logs, even surveillance. I didn't want suspicion. I wanted proof. Once everything lined up, I acted. One evening, I asked her calmly to sit. I looked her in the eye and asked, "What's going on between you and Jeremy?" Her expression tightened. She didn't deny it. She knew she'd been caught. But instead of admitting the truth, she exploded. Accused me of violating her privacy. Said I was toxic. And then she told me to leave. Her house, she called it, a gift for her family. "You don't belong here," she snapped. I didn't fight back. No shouting. No begging. I got up, packed a single bag, and walked out the door. Days later, she found the divorce papers waiting on her desk. I wasn't done. Before she could empty our shared accounts, I froze them. She wasn't going to bankroll her betrayal with money we both earned. Naturally, she pushed back, tried to play the victim, claimed I was cruel, but the time for softness had passed. Then came the part she truly didn't see coming. I filed a lawsuit, not against her, against him, Jeremy. In our state, alienation of affection is still on the books, and I had the receipts, dates, messages, photos, witness testimony. He panicked, called me, pleaded for a quiet settlement, said he had a wife, kids, a career, didn't want the fallout, but I wasn't interested in sparing him. I had suffered in silence for long enough. Celeste tried to intervene, said I was overreacting, that we could handle things like adults. What she meant was, without consequence. But I told her plainly, you made your choices. Now I'm making mine. Their employer launched an inquiry. Workplace relationships weren't tolerated without disclosure. Within weeks, both were suspended. Not long after, they were terminated. That's when the venom poured in. Texts from Celeste calling me every name under the sun. Said I destroyed her life, that I was vindictive. I never replied. Justice doesn't always come with noise. Sometimes it arrives silently, steadily, like ice. In the end, I didn't just leave that marriage. I walked away with my self-worth intact. It hurt, deeply, but I used that pain to build something better. I rebuilt from nothing, quietly, stronger than before. As for Celeste and Jeremy, they didn't last. Word is, the stress and guilt tore them apart. But I didn't celebrate. I didn't need to, because surviving betrayal is one thing. Turning it into power? That's something else entirely. Thanks for being here.